So, yay us. So, Jessica Goring is the, is that right? Goring. Jessica Goring is the chair of the search committee, and she will be telling us a little bit about the process and also introducing our candidate.
Thank you, Judy. So Jessica Goring, formerly known as Severs. I've been around a few times. I am your chair of the Ministerial Search Committee, and I just want to acknowledge everybody on that search committee and the board. I think they all deserve a big round of applause. So just to kind of make sure we're all starting on the same page here, this has been a long process, over a year, when we originally set out for finding a settled minister, but pandemic and other factors set in, and that didn't seem practical to ask a minister to be hired sight unseen because of the pandemic. And so we worked with the UUA, and they recommended a contract to call setup. So basically, we are going to vote today on hiring a particular applicant for a 2-year contract. And we are hoping that after the first year of them being here, we will start the process of seeing if it is mutually agreeable between the minister, the board, and the congregation, whether we should call said applicant to stick around a little bit longer. So minimum of 2 years here, and then hopefully the goal, I think everybody that we've worked with so far is on board with planning for the long term here. So I would like to give you a little background now about Reverend Dr. Isabel Call. She grew up UU. She said, quote, "Unitarian Universalism gave me my roots and wings." How beautiful is that? In 2005, she graduated with a bachelor's in economics and a religion minor at Oberlin College of Ohio. See, I knew somebody wanted this information. 2016, she got her PhD in economics from UC Davis in California. 2019, she got her Master of Divinity from Starr King School for the Ministry at Berkeley, California. And then since then, she was an intern minister with Spokane, Washington's UU. And then since 2020, she's been the assistant minister of pastoral care at Columbus, Ohio. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts, but let's get down to like painting a picture here. So I'm going to read a few of the excerpts that I thought were little nice nuggets from her application. So tell us about a mistake that you've made in ministry, because everybody's human, right? And I think this is one thing that we need to focus on after John Lou's left these huge shoes to fill. John Lou was going out, she was retiring, she was at her peak. We have to remember that this is a new minister. We have to remember she is not John Lou. We have to remember she is 3/4 time. Granted, John Lou was a 3/4 time minister the last year she was here, but she was still so involved in the community. So not that the next minister shouldn't be, but I think we need to keep that in mind. So one of her mistakes that she writes about was in over-functioning. So we're all going to need to work on this. But she said she is learning to move at the pace of the organization and make sure that the new initiatives are collectively owned. I cannot make change happen on my own. So we all know this. We need to get behind whoever that next minister is and all their initiatives. And then getting a little more personal here. What should a congregation know about your family situation? I'm single. I have a close relationship with my mother and stepfather in Nashville, Tennessee. My extended and chosen family live all over the world. She stays in touch with them regularly by phone, letters, and when feasible, visits. And she has a calico cat, which you'll see in the video, which I thought was super sweet. What should a congregation know about your health? And I think this is important to bear in mind, and she's been transparent about this as she shares in her video. I have a mobility impairment that prevents me from moving quickly, walking long distances, and managing lots of stairs. I am practiced at asking for help when I need it. So I don't need congregation members to worry about me if I haven't asked for a specific support. I think that's really big of her. And when we were doing the interview, she mentioned that that's actually one of her strengths, or I think that's a really crafty way to make it a strength because she knows her limitations. She continues, I do, however, welcome conversations about how we can make our shared space more accessible to a diversity of bodies. I think that's something we all could do better at. How do you take care of yourself so that the congregation does not have to? And I think this is a good way to show like some of her hobbies and interests. So that way we feel like we have some more things in common. I love being at home, sitting in the garden, cooking for myself, and getting to know the neighbors. Wherever I live, I join the public radio station and look for a food co-op or health food store. I also seek out dance, yoga or Tai Chi classes, or an arts or writing collective so I can meet friends outside of the congregation. I maintain a close circle of friends and colleagues all over the country by phone. I have a spiritual director and practice daily prayer and meditation. In general, I keep a peaceful life with a broad circle of support when I bump up against the inevitable stress, grief, or frustration. And then I wanted to add some kind of little quips from her references. So the search committee interviewed her on August 1st this year. We had a very wonderful Zoom interview. I think we went over time because we were just enjoying visiting. And then we followed up with her references. She gave us 5 references. They were all glowing. And in those, they said things like, she was very organized, gracious, insightful. I'm impressed with her ability to hold space for pastoral care. Pastoral care is one of her passions, and they've said that it's a strength as well. And her services are original, thoughtful, quiet, deliberate, and passionate. She's attentive to detail. We noticed that on Zoom. Zoom's a very difficult platform to communicate with, and she noticed when somebody seemed like they weren't being able to hear her very clearly, and she paused the conversation and she called it out and she said, do I need to do anything different to be more accommodating to you? And I think that that really shows how she is a very good communicator. She's always very prompt with replying to emails. The references go on to say she has a strength in cultivating interpersonal ties and connections. Fabulous things will be possible. That's so exciting to hear. So the search committee was unanimous in supporting this recommendation up to the board. The board was unanimous in bringing it to the congregation. And so what we will be voting on is hiring Reverend Dr. Isabel Call as our new 3/4 time minister for the next 2 years with the option to call at the end of that contract. So I'll turn it back over to Judy. Thank you for your time.
So Isabel did send us a video. So are we ready to see that? Call, C-A-L-L. Are we ready with the video? Yes. Say this, she was a participant in our last week's service. So I think you'll recognize her when you see her on the video.
Hello, Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Manhattan. I am Isabel Call, and I am so excited to be joining you this fall as your new minister. So I know that you may have read some about me, but I wanted to make this little video to introduce myself further. So I'm Isabel. You are welcome to call me Isabel. You can call me Reverend Isabel. I kind of like Dr. Isa or Pastor Isa. I really identify as a pastor. pastoral ministry is very important to me. I'll be coming to you, having been an assistant minister of pastoral care, where I've really deepened my skills in active listening and being with people in whatever they're going through. I really believe that this is a core practice for ministry and something that I bring to all that I do in my work in community. So Pastor Isabel, whatever we come to as a community that works, or for each of you individually. So as we're getting to know each other, you will learn more about my history and I'll learn more about yours. You will learn that I have a PhD in economics. This is something that I was finishing up as I heard my call to ministry. And when I was just starting in seminary, one of my seminary professors said to me, "Oh, that's great. You can have your econ PhD in your back pocket." Now, I'll say one of the things I'm hoping for myself and hoping to develop as I come to you in Manhattan is to bring that out of my back pocket and integrate my economist identity into my work as a minister, thinking about abundance and how we create communities of sharing. So I'm wanting to integrate that, and it's just a part of my ongoing development. Like you, I am still developing. One of the things that most attracted me to you all is that you have been in developmental ministry. It sounds like it's been a very fruitful period for you. The past 6 years in my own life have been a period of development. And so I love that we've been on our own paths developing, and that those paths are coming together. So I can also share that my path has taken me to many places. I've lived many places in the country and also overseas. I lived in Indonesia for a couple of years, and I did my PhD research in Kenya. When I was finishing economics, I was really kind of dreading a university job or research job wherever there was a good position, moving to a city where I didn't know anyone. And it was part of an overall discernment that it really wasn't the career for me. So I thought I would go to seminary. I thought I could be an economist if I could learn some more community organizing skills and really root my research in community, do some community-based research. But then when I was at seminary, I caught this bug that I really wanted to be rooted in a congregation. So I heard my call to Congregational Ministry, and I was learning about how do ministers get jobs. And, it's a lot like academics get jobs. You find a job in a city where you don't necessarily know anybody. And I thought, I could do that. As a UU minister, I felt comfortable continuing my journey to a new city. So that was part of my discernment to realize I have found the path for me. I'm really excited that it's bringing me to Manhattan. I understand that one of your challenges is that you have people coming all the time and going. You have academics and folks in the military community, and I understand that it makes it hard to establish some systems if you have a lot of people who aren't there for a long term. But actually, I'll say I'm kind of attracted to this challenge that you have because it connects to my own history of moving a lot and looking for a congregation where I could bring my gifts and have them be useful without needing to make a lifelong commitment to the place and the congregation. I really believe it's possible for communities to receive newcomers and students, academics, receive people who aren't necessarily going to be here forever. I mean, none of us is going to be here forever. So how do we build a community based on change and vibrancy, and also build structures that work for the long term for all the people who come and go? So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about this specific position, the way that you've defined it as a contract ministry with a plan to call me as a settled minister. This would be a new form of ministry for you all. And it's also a kind of rootedness that I'm craving, an opportunity for long-term shared endeavors that allow us to plan for the future and be there for it. I love the contract to call model, where we start out getting to know each other and then discern together what we dream for our futures and for our shared future. So in that contract to call process, the call process, I'm really looking forward to getting to know each other, getting to know each of you and who you are as a collective, what you share in common, with me, and what makes you and us diverse. One thing that you will learn about me is that I'm disabled. You may also already hear that I have a voice impairment. And when you see me, you may also see that I have a mobility impairment. So when you see me, you may also see my scooter. I'm looking for a photo here so you can see what my scooter looks like. I use this to get around when the weather is good. I walk slowly and can't really walk long distances, so my scooter helps a lot. And then while I'm doing some show and tell, I also want to share with you a little video of my kitten Intuit. There she is. So Intuit and I will be moving to Manhattan to be among you at the end of October. My first sermon will be that last Sunday in October. I am really looking forward to it. I know that's a bit of time away from now. I will officially be starting with you in October, but I'm still going to be in Columbus, Ohio, where I am now, in the start of October. Have some projects I need to finish up here. And I also need some time to set down the ministry that I've been doing here and emotionally prepare to be among you, to be in a new community. I've done very good work here in Columbus. It's been incredibly meaningful to be here, and the goodbyes are difficult. And my heart is gonna be open, and I'll need some time to wrap up while I'm here. So that's part of what I'm gonna be doing in October. I will be available. I'll be attending a board meeting. I'll be working on preparing the service for the end of October. And I'll be getting things set up like my email, my Zoom account. So I'll be a little bit available, but fully among you at the end of October, fully fresh, moving into my new place with Intuit, and just very eager to get to know each of you and all of you as a community. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and I just can't wait to be with you.
I didn't. little feedback there, but it's over, right? That was really exciting. So right now I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the candidate. Chris Bailey has moved and we have a second. Rob Morrison has seconded that we approve Reverend Dr. Isabel Call as our new minister in a contracted call type of ministry. Is there any discussion?
I just like to comment on the name of her cat, Into It. I love that. I think it speaks well.
Yes, Into It is an awesome name for a cat. I don't know. I would say, Mark?
We have to use the mic.
Sorry, we
Thank
do.
you so much. I just wanted to say that is it on? Just a bit. Mark Mayfield. I just wanted to say that I think that she sounds like a very genuine person and a very interesting person. And I think that we should all vote to bring her in, and I certainly will.
Just a bit ago, Ann Cowan asked if we knew what her age was, and I would only be speculating. I'm fine. Okay, so she got her undergraduate degree in 2005, so that'll give you some idea. Late 30s, early 40s, maybe. Any other discussion? Well, if not, we will move to a vote. So if all of you are amenable to this, we will just vote with a show of hands in the building. And Rob is going to make a poll, or has made a poll for the people online. So Rob, if you let me know when you have that. Okay, awesome. It's there. I forgot. It's back there. So if you want to, Jessica, I'm going to ask Jessica to help count the hands in the building. So if you are in favor of asking Reverend Isabel to sign her contract, raise your hand. We could just say, is there anybody opposed to calling Reverend Isabel?
Rob, is your hand still up?
Rob, he's no. So how the vote was unanimous in the building? Rob, how are we doing online? Okay, I think we've got a done deal here. So we have unanimously approved the contracted call for Reverend Dr. Isabel Call. And I will, or Jessica, or maybe both of us will be in touch with her later today. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate it a lot. Oh, wait a minute. To make it official, I need an motion to adjourn. Okay, is there anybody that says no? Raise your hand. If not, we're done. Thank you so much.